highvolumemusicradio.com. The Business Knowledge Broker Hour.
Hey, yo, Guru, you ready?
Business, marketing, accounting, social media, resources, strategies, tips, events. The Business Knowledge Broker Hour.
It's just savage business.
Grants, funding, capital, life
insurance,
annuities, finances, tax tips, strategies, music, business, local spotlights, business highlights, leadership, entrepreneurship. The Business Knowledge Broker Hour. highvolumemusicradio.com. Bring up the mic of my first guest. But I tell you, this gentleman is amazing. He's absolutely amazing. But y'all know, on my show, I like for people to introduce themselves. Why? Because who's a better person to tell you about their greatness than them? Greetings. Hi. Welcome to High Volume Music Radio, to the Business Knowledge Broker Hour with Candace Joseph. Who do I have on the line tonight?
George Boley.
Hey, George. How are you?
How you doing? Thanks for having me on the show.
No, thank you for being a guest tonight. First and foremost, I want to say you're amazing, and since I know that you're amazing, I want you to tell all of the listeners about the greatness of George.
Greatness of George. Where do I start? I'm a 6th-degree black belt, and Taekwondo, a 1st-degree black belt in Hapkido. I've been training and teaching now for about more than 30 years, 35 years, somewhere around there. I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a writer, I'm a real estate investor, I'm a personal trainer, I'm a coach. Where do we start?
Look, all of it sound like fun, so pick one. Pick one. Okay, so let's start with the fun stuff. Let's start with the martial arts. Talk about that.
Yeah.
I love to hear a little bit about that.
Well, I started when I was 9 years old, and I was hard-headed, so my father had to put me into something that would give me some discipline. And I learned overseas, so it was interesting because the instructor that I learned from was also in charge of teaching the Liberian Secret Service their self-defense techniques for the president. So he didn't know how to teach kids. So he taught everybody in class like adults. So imagine if you had him tell you run 10 miles. Everybody's doing it, whether you're 9 years old or you're 29 years old. So when I came to the United States, my skill level was just a little bit higher because I had been trained thoroughly and properly.
Oh, wow. And it just grew from there. The love just grew from there. Yeah, look, this is the thing. You have books out about your love of martial arts and nutrition and health. Like you look.
Yes.
Yeah, like you're amazing.
Well, the story is and it's actually true, I was very thin. And the first movie that I saw as a child was Bruce Lee's Enter the Dragon.
Oh yeah, that's classic.
And the first magazine I saw was Arnold Schwarzenegger's and Joe Weider. They had a magazine out in the 80s. I'm not sure if it was Muscle, Fitness, or Flex, but that was the first magazine I saw. So I tried to be a combination of both. I remember taking my dad's encyclopedias books and putting them in my book bags and then taking the broomstick handle, and that was my weight that I was lifting. Because he refused to buy me weights.
Oh, wow. Now, see, that's resiliency right there. That's resiliency. You see, you know what? I'm going to create my own tools and things that I need to get where I need to be. See, that's the thing. See, like you said, it started out when you were 10 and it expanded from there. Oh, wow.
From there.
Yeah. So, look, you are an entrepreneur that's everywhere. You are also, you do a lot of stuff in the real estate investment space. You wrote books about it as well. Can you tell the listeners a little bit about your journey in getting into real estate and how all these great books came about? You're like a writer extraordinaire.
It's a process. So I actually started my personal fitness company. And what I had was an in-home service where I would go to people's houses and train them in their house. And so that's the company that I started in my mid-20s. So that was a passion of mine, I have always been a passion of mine in helping people. You know, two questions that I've gotten in the gym and I still get to this day is, how much do you bench and what supplements do you take? So that question is ongoing even now at 47 years old. So the books are my journey in getting there. So I used health and fitness and personal training as my first step. Second thing was my wife and I had always talked about real estate and investing in real estate and things of that nature. And we were able to, through my personal training business, save enough money for us to buy our first home. And then after we bought our first home, we had enough in savings and in equity to start investing in real estate. So really, the health and fitness led to the real estate, and the real estate that put me on this journey that I am on now.
Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing?
Oh, yes.
I mean, this is the thing, like, a lot of times when we gravitate into something, sometimes it just happens. You know, it's never, like, sometimes people think, oh, you know, I have to have a master plan and I have to have it all written out. Like, for some people, like for me, that method worked. I had a master plan wrote out at 19. That was me. But for some people, it's more so they gravitated by things by just experiences in life. So I think that's just amazing. I think that's great.
Oh, yeah, and it was just out of love, you know, because I was an assistant instructor of my own Taekwondo program at the YMCA here in East Orange, New Jersey. That's really how I got started, you know, teaching. And then from teaching, it went to personal training, in-home personal training, developing that business, you know. And believe it or not, even with COVID, I'm still teaching online. You know, it's just a passion that I have to give that knowledge to people so they can have that confidence that they need to be productive. So, you know, here comes COVID.
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm saying that, because this is the last part of your question as to how I got these books done. My book on resistance training, I had a manual, and that's probably 15 years old. Literally everything that I had learned and thought about and I had developed, I had written down. And it had gotten so massive, over 70,000 words, that I just threw it on the shelf. I was done with it. Oh, wow. And then as far as my book for real estate, I literally get about 3 to 4 questions a day about real estate, whether it's friends calling me, clients calling me, somebody looking for me to assess a deal for them, you know, if it's a good deal or a bad deal. And my sister, God bless her, I love her, for like 10 years has been like, you got to write this stuff down. You're giving this stuff away for free. And I'm like, man, I don't got no time for writing any books, you know?
Yeah.
And it's because, remember, I had tried writing this book about working out, and it was just a complete disaster. It was just taking too long. So I just put it on the shelf.
Wow.
Then the book about supplements, because I remember the 2 questions people always ask me is, how much do you bench and what supplements do you take?
Yeah.
So I started compiling information about that, the supplements that I take, the herbs that I use, because I have a very allergic reaction in my body to anything synthetic. Okay. I honestly believe everything that you need in nature to heal you, keep you going, you know, you can get it from nature. For instance, real quick, like if you really have a headache, you should probably be taking white willow bark, because that's the synthetic of aspirin. And that's a synthetic derivative of aspirin. A lot of people don't know that. You can research it for yourself. So that being said, that was my motivation for my book on supplements. And then the last book came about for wealth building and knowledge, and the book of how to use your credit rating to put you on the path to debt freedom. That was a journey that I had probably been on for 30 years in my adult life.
Wow.
And I just learned the trick in my early 40s, believe it or not. So back to COVID. I had 4 real estate deals on the table, probably March 2020, April 2020. I lost all my deals.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm sitting on the couch, same couch I'm sitting on now talking to you. And I was like, Lord, what am I going to do? And he was like, what about all them books you got in your mind and stuff you got on the shelf?
Confirmation.
And I told him, and I told him the same thing I told my sister. I'm not writing any books. I tried all that stuff, man. I don't know how to write any books. So I left that. 2 weeks to 3 weeks later,
Yeah.
I was doing something because I was just thinking, and he just whispered again, what about them books? And I said, Lord, I'm not writing any daggone books. And then he pierced my spirit. When I say pierce, he has a way of nudging me into things.
Oh.
And when he touches me like that, I stop doing everything because I know that, the Holy Spirit is in the room and he's trying to get my attention. So when I stopped, my tone changed immediately, and I was like, okay, Lord, I don't know how to write any books, but, if this is something that you're pointing me to, okay. So I go on YouTube for something completely different, and a commercial comes on. Do you want to know how to write a book and publish it yourself, blah, blah, blah?
Yes.
I'm like, okay, Lord, I hear you.
Okay.
But I get to my Gideon moment, I'm still stubborn. So I'm like, Lord, if this from you, then this exact same message will be here tomorrow, right? So I'm tossing and turning all night because I'm just like, I've challenged God. And normally when I challenge God, he shows up, good, bad, or indifferent. So in other words, I was afraid of being chastised for challenging him. So that's what I was tossing and turning about.
Wow.
So I woke up, put the kids on the bus, got to my daily routine. I'm avoiding COVID now. 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
I'm dreading picking up my phone, right? 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. So by 4:30, I pick up my phone. I go back to YouTube, and the message is still there.
Still there.
So I just signed up immediately, and I started the process of getting these books done.
Yes.
It took me about 3 to 4 months. They went through my working out manuscript, and it went from 70,000 words, yes, to 30,000. They pared it back to 30,000 words. So that's the book that's out now. And then my property management book, they helped me complete all the chapters.
Yeah.
And then all this stuff that I had dictated on my phone and I had put in chapters, because that was a thing too. I'm not a typer.
Neither am I.
So technology, right, technology had to catch up to me.
Yeah.
So I started noticing this little microphone button on my phone.
Say it again.
And that's speech to text.
Yep.
So I was able to now dictate all my chapters, look at my dailies, save them into my Word document for my books. And that's how we got it done.
I love that.
So August 2020, I released my first book, and then every month I released a book until they were all released.
That's amazing. That's just amazing.
Thank you.
That's amazing. And see, and the thing
It's
about
obedience.
say that again, because people need to hear
Obedience.
that. Obedience.
Oh, yeah.
The thing about it is, a lot of times we don't realize that our gifts and the knowledge that we give out is something that someone needs. A lot of times people, they have these gifts and they hoard them, right? They look at it and say, okay, well, what do I do with these gifts? Okay, I got this gift. I'm just going to sit on this. And you say, well, wait, I'm giving it away. Let me go ahead and put it together, compile the knowledge so that people can, basically reference your own type of encyclopedia, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
I love it.
It's like I had an interviewer ask me a question yesterday about, how I felt about the books or what my greatest accomplishment. And I said, the reason why I say these books is because these books really are a gift to my kids. Because my kids don't really understand the information that I have. They're not ready for it. I'm just dad.
Yeah.
However, if I do this right, you're going to read my book and learn all the information that I know about real estate when you inherit it. So in other words, if my son or my daughter puts me in the ground, they're not going to sit here and be all flustered about, I want the property because I don't know what I'm doing. Nah, why don't you read Dad's book? He told you everything how to do it to get it done.
I love that.
Now that you have respect for him.
And look, trust me, I get that. I get that, and I absolutely love it. And the thing about it is that sometimes we don't know like how our wisdom can have impact on someone.
Right.
And the thing about it is that sometimes we think about things in a moment, but it could be life lasting.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
I love that. See, round of applause for George. Let's go there. Can we go there? Can we go there? Can we go there? I absolutely love it. And this is the thing. I have two great, amazing podcasters in the room with me tonight. They are my co-hosts. I have Ashley and Irene. They have been listening to this interview. So I'm going to bring up their mics because I know Ashley has something that she wanted to share in.
Please.
Hi, Mike. How are you doing?
George.
I'm so sorry, George.
She been over here engrossed. She been engrossed in this.
I really have. But I just wanted to...
Thank you.
You're welcome. I wanted to know, so you might not answer the question, but what's the secret to the wealth building and the credit that you learned?
That's a great question.
In your early 40s?
That's a great question.
Debunking the mystery, huh? Okay.
The answer is you have to know how actually credit works. In our communities, we spend a lot of time either shucking and jiving or completely being misinformed on how credit works here in the United States. Okay? So, how do I say this? The reason why there's this misconception that black folks are more risky than white folks when it comes to credit, because we dance around it too much. We're not informed as our counterparts. What do I mean? I have friends that are teaching their 13-year-olds and 9-year-olds about the stock market. Okay? My kids want to learn about horseback riding and basketball. Nothing wrong with that. But what am I saying is I'm saying that my parents didn't teach me about stock market and investing and things of that nature.
Yeah.
Those are all things that I had to learn as a young adult. Okay?
Yeah.
So in other words, I was even taught wrong about earning money, paying bills, everything of that nature. And one thing I've learned, I've heard an investor say it, if you don't understand interest, you're going to end up paying interest.
That's correct.
And that's it. That's it. Okay? So the biggest thing that I learned was how credit really works in this country. I walked around in my mind and talking to people for almost 10 years because I couldn't figure out how is it I've never missed a bill in my life.
Yep.
Paid all my bills. I got houses in my name. I've never missed a mortgage payment through the high time, through the low time. Okay?
Yep.
I've done all these things, and here, when I'm needing funds to move into this investment, this, that, and the third, I can't get any funds. I don't understand what's happening.
Ooh.
And it was a guy I had reached out to, and he called me back, and he was like, George, I went over your profile. He said, I'm going to share some things with you. He said, you're 99% of the way there. He said, but you don't understand that 1%. He said, I was an underwriter for 30 years before I got sick. I had to get out of the industry.
Yeah.
Okay? And he said, that 1% is this. You and your credit limits. Banks and lenders want to see your credit for your personal usage under 30% and your business usage under 50%.
That's correct.
45% would be better. Now, hear me. I thought as long as I paid the bill, and then when I got the money, paid the bill off, that's how you do it. So that's how I've been doing it for years. So just imagine you have a $10,000 credit limit, and for 6 months, it's at $9,099. You see what I mean? Because you make your minimum payments, and then boom, you get money, and you pay it off, 10 grand. See what I mean? That doesn't look right. I didn't know that. I just figured, I was paying bills.
Yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But I never understood that.
Wow.
And so once I finally understood that, and I was like, wait, you mean that's the secret of how you're seen on your credit profile? And you think, yeah, pretty much.
And that's because it's 30% of your credit usage.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Mm.
You know, because he said, he was like, you know how many people I've run into in 30 years with credit scores over 800?
Wow.
And I was like, no, sir. He was like, you're the fifth.
Mm.
And I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it because I always figured it was a duty. Look, if I'm borrowing money, I'm using money, you pay them that money back.
Yep.
Don't play around with it. Don't shuck and jive. If you borrow the money, pay it. Simple.
Now see, that's great information. That's great information. Because I know a lot of listeners right now are probably listening to that like, wow, you know, when you broke that down to its simplest form to where anybody can grab that. You know, a lot of times people, they get lost in the information because simply the terminology is a little too much, or the way that it is explained isn't adequate enough. You know, so thank you for breaking that down for us. Thank you.
Thank you, George.
Hope I answered your question.
Thank you so much, George.
And this is the thing, you're in a room full of podcasters, right? So, you know, we're podcasters in here. You're a podcaster as well. I want you to tell us the greatness of Real Talk with George and Frazier.
Real Talk with George and Frazier was Frazier's idea, believe it or not. I met Frazier through a real estate deal years ago.
Yeah.
And we've been friends, and, you know, we lost track a little bit when Frazier had his heart attack, but he reached back out, and he was like, George, I want to do a podcast. And I was just on the cusp of finishing my books, and I was like, yeah, great, you know. I've done a podcast years ago for combat sports, so I know a little bit about it. And we were deciding on what kind of podcast we wanted to do. And he wanted to go very target specific as far as whether it be politics or environmental or finances or whatever else. But I thought having a broad approach to what was happening would be more beneficial, because there's a lot of other people talking about politics. Politics are very cyclical, and now in today's age and after this last administration, it's very divisive.
Yep.
So you have to be very extremely careful about some of the things that you say, because literally now people catch feelings. Like before, you used to run off your back, but now you can literally get in an argument saying the wrong thing politically.
That's true.
You see what I'm saying? So I'm like, I'm not doing that. You know, because not to boast or anything, but I'm the wrong one. You know what I mean?
Look, you said black. Look, you said black belt. Okay, I think everybody has established the fact that you are not to be played with. We understand that.
Yeah, you know, I just can't.
I just,
I get it. You just don't get that.
Yeah.
You know?
But now I listened to the podcast. I enjoyed it. I really did. I really did. I said, I'm going to have to hit them up about being a guest on that, because when you say real talk, you mean just that. Real talk. Real talk.
Absolutely.
And I absolutely love it. But you know what? I want to say thank you for being on the show tonight. And I want you to tell people. Oh, wait, hold on. Ari has something she want to chime in on. Okay, go ahead, Ari.
Yeah, I really do. I was like flagging Candace down. Thank you so much, George. Oh my goodness. You dropped so many gems. I'm literally taking notes right now. I wanted to know first off, I want to say, what a brilliant idea to write a book for your kids. I mean, you're really thinking a few steps ahead. Like, I'm talking about, this is what's better than chess, So
that's right.
I would love to know the name of your books, the one on real estate, and especially the one about the herbs that you take and everything, because I believe that health is wealth. So I definitely want to read it.
Okay, well, let me go tell you this. You can go to my website at georgeboleyjr.com. to read more about me and see the books that I have out. But my book is called The Only Supplements Needed to Truly Help You Obtain Your Health and Fitness Goals. I know it's a long title, but that's the title of my supplement book. And it's a complement to my resistance training book for mixed martial artists and martial artists. And then my other book, How to Use Your Credit Rating, Put You on the Path to Debt Freedom, is that title. And then my last one is Property Management Basics for the Part-Time Landlord. They're all available on Amazon too as well.
Perfect. And can you spell out your website for us?
Yes. G is in George, E is in Edward, O is in Oliver, R is in Ryan, G is in George, E is in Edward, B is in boy, O is in Oliver, L is in Leo, E is in Edward, Y is in yellow, J is in Jerry, R is in red. GeorgeBoleyJr.com.
And George Boley Jr., thank you for being a guest tonight on the Business Knowledge Workout with Candace Joseph.
Appreciate it.
All right. Look, you and I are going to talk off air. I don't care. You and I are going to talk off air. I'll give you a call later in the week because I need to tap into your greatness, and I love the podcast. Keep doing the amazing things that you're doing in the spaces in which you're doing them. Thank you for being a storyteller, for one, for getting that voice out there, for being someone who's given that knowledge, and keep spreading light and love. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Bye-bye. HighVolumeMusicRadio.com. The business knowledge broker out.
Hey, yo, Guru, you ready?
Business, marketing,